Welcome, Internet, to the, I guess this is the reboot, rebranding, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, of the Vendetta Sports Media Fantasy Show. I don't know if this is episode one. I don't know what episode they stopped on. I'm just going to say this is episode one since it's, like I said, the reboot. We got, I know I'm going to mess up your last name, Anthony Fontanello, right?
That was pretty good. You and Trey, you guys both pronounced that real well. I'm very surprised.
So we got Anthony. He's I guess he's our first guest host for the rebranding of the fantasy show. Anthony, I'm a big fan of the KISS theory. Keep it simple, stupid. So I'm not, going to be going anywhere crazy with this. I figure just nice, short, sweet, to the point, get it out. That way we can help the fantasy owners of the world win their leagues. So basically what we're going to be doing today, must starts, each position. We're going to be doing something that I like to call the 40-40 club, which I'll explain later once we get to it. And then we're going to give you a waiver wire key pickup or two for week 9. So let's get into it. Anthony, who you got must start quarterback week 9 in the NFL?
Must start quarterback? All right. Tell you what, Matt Stafford playing the Minnesota Vikings, who have a terrible pass defense. It's among the worst in the league. All Matt Stafford does is sling the ball around on that Detroit Lions team. He's kind of flung under the radar a little bit. I mean, he's put together a quietly decent fantasy season, but just because of all the other quarterbacks going on in the league, lighting it up, he really hasn't gotten too many looks. But he was on my waiver wire this week, so I think if he's there for you or if you got him stashed on your bench, and you got a bye week coming up, I would play Stafford.
I like Stafford. I think you're right. I think Stafford, he's always flying under the radar for some reason, both just as like a quarterback in the NFL and then fantasy-wise. My concern about the Minnesota Vikings defense is they kind of held Aaron Rodgers in check last week. Any concerns about them playing really well a second week in a row as far as, fantasy is concerned and Stafford's production?
Yeah, see, that's true, but thing is, I mean, the Vikings are, 2-5 now? I mean, I would like to just chalk that up as they played a really good game and Aaron Rodgers didn't play his best game. So I don't know how much you want to invest into that. I mean, the Vikings defense is still pretty bad. Them just getting Dalvin Cook back and him just lighting up that horrible Packers rush defense was really what killed them, but I feel pretty confident with Stafford this week.
Okay. Like I said, Stafford, he's a good one. Oh, by the way, I should, go back and mention that these must starts that me and Anthony are going to give you, they're not going to be like the ones you get from like ESPN, NFL Network, and all that shit, where they're like, start fucking DeAndre Hopkins. Like, no shit, start DeAndre Hopkins. Like, if DeAndre Hopkins is ever out, like, you should start DeAndre Hopkins on his bye week because he might still go for a touchdown. Like, no shit. So these are going to be guys that, again, it's not an obvious start. So I got mine here. I'm going to give you my fantasy start quarterback of the week is Matt Ryan. Now, obviously, Matt Ryan last week, who did the Falcons play? They played the Panthers, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Got their second win of the season against the Panthers. Obviously, not a whole lot of touchdown production last week against the Panthers, but I think this is probably not necessarily a bounce-back game for Matt Ryan because he's been pretty consistent with getting about 20 points per week so far this season. The Falcons have been throwing the ball a lot. Right now, the Broncos defense is averaging the 10th most points per week to fantasy QBs. So Matt Ryan, he's going to expect him to use all those weapons he's got. I know Calvin Ridley, I forgot what his injury – I know he went down last week. I don't think his injury was supposed to keep him out this week.
No, I'm pretty sure he's playing, but just has like a questionable designation.
Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure he's going to end up playing.
I mean, he's still got all of his weapons, so I think Matty Ice is going to light it up this week. So,
I like that. I think so.
Okay, good. We're on the same page, so we're going to keep it rolling. Anthony, who do you got your fantasy start of the week at running back?
Oh, yo, Chad, you are going to love this one. All right. I got Zach Moss going up against the Seattle Seahawks. And
I
for
I hope
this
so
reason,
because I have him on fantasy, so hopefully he has a good game.
the Seattle has the worst rush defense in the NFL. It is worse than Dallas. It is worse than Green Bay. It is absolutely abysmal. And last week, Zach Moss looked like he was starting to, be the promising rookie that a lot of fantasy owners thought he was going to be when the drafts were going on. Like Devin Singletary, uh, he, I don't know, he's not that good. So I would go with the hot hand here. Zach Moss had a great game last week, and going up against Seattle and their terrible rush defense, I would start him this week. I really think he's going to have a great game.
Now, I've said this before with the shows that I've done, the lead word. I think parity to these shows, it's key. Got to get some controversy going, spark a little bit of debate. Anthony, you're killing me. You're not giving me anything to disagree on here, guy. Zach Moss, that's a great pick. I think, like you said, Seattle's run defense hasn't been great this year. Moss's 2 touchdowns last week came from 8 and 4 yards. I think this Buffalo team, they're going to live on that goal line this week. So I like the pick there too, so I can't complain. My fantasy start running back this week, we got Damian Harris, New England running back. He's going up against the Jets. I feel like anytime you got a player going against the Jets, that's a must start. But specifically, I usually shy away from New England running backs because they're, traditionally, you never know who's going to get the rock in that, that offense they got. 1 week it'll be friggin' James White gets 400, receiving yards. The next week you get Sonny Michel has like 1,000 touchdowns. So, but the reason why I like Damian Harris this week is, last week against Denver, he went over 100 yards for the second time in the season. And, I mean, the Jets' defense is just atrocious. So, I mean, that's really all there is to it.
Yeah, don't got to go too much into it with that. Just play anybody against the Jets. Honestly, it doesn't matter at this point.
All right, keeping it rolling the way I like it. Who do you got, Anthony, your fantasy must-start receiver this week?
So for me this week, I was looking at Cole Beasley, and he's actually had a pretty good year. He's scored double-digit points in almost every game out, I think, except 2 this year, and going up against, again, the Seattle defense, it's absolutely abysmal. Like, they get torched by receivers, and we've seen Christian Kirk absolutely blitz them 2 weeks ago. He demolished the Seattle defense. Granted, last week they played well against the Niners, but that was just because the Niners are banged up, and I don't personally think Jimmy G is that good. But I would look for Cole Beasley this week. I think he's going to have a real good game here against Seattle.
Okay. Again, I want to say no, but I can't. I had Cole Beasley in fantasy last year. He was actually pretty decent. He was one of my waiver wire pickups early in the season. I kind of rode with him the whole time, and he was actually pretty decent for me. He was one of my better wide receivers, and my wide receiving room on my fantasy team, it's a keeper league, is stacked. Shout out to DK Metcalf. I got my must start this week, and it's going to seem like a weird one because of who they're playing, but I think he's going to have some room to work. I got Corey Davis going up against Chicago. Now, Chicago, they've got that great just defense overall. They can stop the run. They can, they're great against the pass, especially with, Eddie Jackson back there picking it off. I like Corey Davis. Last week, he's 8 for 281 yards, 1 touchdown on 10 targets. He's got about 70 yards receiving or a touchdown in all 5 of his games this season. And he's coming into this game with back-to-back games with 10 targets. So I like Corey Davis. I like the fact that they're trying to get him the rock. He's a little bit of a slow starter as far as his career concern is, but this year he's playing pretty well. So I like to see him continue that 10 target streak going into this week. Not to mention, I think we all know the main game in town for the Titans is their run game. They're going to feed Derrick Henry, so I think that's going to help against the Chicago defense a lot for Corey Davis to get open.
Yeah, I love that. I love that pick. Corey Davis is kind of surprised me this year, but he's also been helped out with AJ Brown missing games here and there, and I feel like because of that, him and Ryan Tannehill have developed some sort of chemistry going right now, and it seems like Corey Davis is one of his favorite targets.
Yeah, like I said, he's doing pretty well this year, and you know what? Like I said, that Chicago defense is a little bit scary, but we like bold predictions over here at Vendetta, so I like to stay on brand.
That's what we do.
Trey keeps me around for a reason. It's not just because of my pretty face. So what do we got here? We got fantasy tight end. Who do you got fantasy tight end?
Yeah. So tight end, I'm gonna go with Eric Ebron going up against Dallas. The Cowboys, almost just like Seattle, have terrible defense, and Eric Ebron. I don't know. He's had some good games, had some bad games, but I feel like if he is going to blow up in one of these games, it's going to be this one against the Cowboys. Like they're gonna just attack this Cowboys defense any way they can. The Steelers have been playing great offensively, and I mean, for me to sit here and tell you to start any one of the three Steelers receivers is just dumb because I feel like if you have them, you're starting them anyway. So I'm going to tell you, go with the tight end, go with Eric Ebron. I think he's going to have a good week this week against Cowboys.
Again, Anthony, my man, I had Eric Ebron too.
Yeah, you had it too. All right.
I'll try to see if I can grab someone real quick too, but also with Eric Ebron, the past two games for him, he's been targeted 13 times, has 10 catches, 98 yards, and a touchdown that he scored, this past week against Baltimore. As far as another tight end, okay, I'll give you this one. I'll go Jordan Reed against Green Bay.
Okay, see, I was thinking about Jordan Reed too today.
Okay, so obviously Kittle's out, so somebody's got to be there. Jordan Reed earlier this season with Kittle hurt, he had 2 touchdowns earlier in the season. So I think we pretty much know that San Fran's done for the season now. Kittle's out for the rest of the season. Jimmy G is hurt. I forget what his injury was. I think he might be done for the season too. So bad quarterbacks usually lean heavily on their tight ends as well. So you got, I don't know, whichever one of the garbage tight ends they got over there, Beathard, or I forget what the other guy's name is, Nick Mullins.
Nick Mullins,
those guys is one of those guys. They're probably going to be looking to throw their tight end. So I think Jordan Reed might even be some guy you can pick up off the fantasy wire, the waiver wire too. So that one's a twofer for you. YouTube, you got.
Yeah, he was available. He was available. He's available on my waiver wire right now. Actually, I just grabbed him just for the hell of it. I start Evan Ingram every goddamn fucking week. So yeah, I just picked up Jordan Reed.
So yeah, there you go. YouTube, internet, whoever you are listening to this, you just got a twofer. You got a waiver wire pickup and a must start out of Jordan Reed.
There you go.
Right. Speaking of which, or no, yeah. Do you have we can do fantasy must start kicker if you want.
We could do it. I wrote one down. Matt Prater, he's on the waiver wire. Again, playing Minnesota. I think Detroit's going to score a lot here. So them scoring a lot plus Matt Prater. Maybe you get lucky with a couple drive stall outs within field goal range. But I think Matt Prater could have a 10-point game this week.
All right, that's solid. I got I did pick one as well. The reason why I asked, I didn't know if like I said, I didn't say this on this recording, but I told you this earlier. I wasn't very specific when I gave you the topics yesterday in the Slack, and that's my fault. So I probably should have.
Yeah, that's okay.
I should have been more specific. So I was like, oh, I don't know if he's gonna have it. I do have a kicker here. I'm gonna go Justin Tucker. The reason is one, Justin Tucker. He rarely misses. So if you're in one of those fantasy leagues where you lose points if your kicker misses,
Yeah, mine.
then you're not gonna lose any points with Justin Tucker missing very often. He's going up against Indy this week. Indy's got a pretty good defense. There's a couple times where the Ravens needed, they were in that field goal range, but especially late in the game, they were getting stalled by the Pittsburgh defense. They were going for it and they didn't pick it up. This week against Indy, I don't see them going for it as much, but I do see them having the drive stalls. So I'm thinking that Justin Tucker's probably going to get you about 10 points as well. So now that we have the must starts out of the way, we're going to move on to our waiver wires, Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
I have two. Again, I didn't really give you any kind of direction with this. So
Yeah, it's okay. I got some. I put some down anyway. I was just thinking about it.
All right, perfect. Who do you have since I have two, I'll let you go ahead and do two. Give me your first waiver wire pickup this week.
I'll give you my first one. If you didn't pick him up last week, it still could be a pretty good option this week. Is that guy DJ Dallas on Seattle? I told Braden in the Slack to pick him up, and then me stupidly didn't pick him up because I had Tevin Coleman thinking Tevin Coleman was going to do good. But besides that, DJ Dallas had 20 points. There's still concern that Chris Carson and Carlos Hyde will not be available for their game this week, so I'd monitor that. And if DJ Dallas is still there on the waiver wire, I would definitely pick him up just for the fact of if Chris Carson and Carlos Hyde are not able to play, DJ Dallas is the only healthy running back that the Seahawks have at the moment. So he'll probably still be due for another big game, especially with their offense. And I'll give you another waiver guy that I was thinking about. Shit. I didn't really have two here, but let me think of one real quick. Emmanuel Sanders. If he's on your waiver wire, he was on mine. I figure if Michael Thomas is still out, which I hope he plays because I drafted him with the 6th pick and struggled all year because of it. If Emmanuel Sanders is still out there, I would go and grab him. He should be coming back off COVID this week. I mean, I don't know because some players come back in a week or 2 weeks, but apparently Emmanuel Sanders had COVID for 3 weeks, so I don't know, but he should be back. The Saints offense is looking like it's getting into somewhat of a groove now. So I would pick up Emmanuel Sanders, and if Michael Thomas doesn't play and Emmanuel Sanders does play, he should have a pretty good game this week.
Yeah, I'm actually shocked Sanders doesn't have a home in your league. I would say I feel like now, since Michael Thomas has been injured, he's like the only real receiving threat. And well, I shouldn't say only. He's the only consistent receiving threat outside of Brandon Cooks.
I was pretty shocked when I seen him on my waiver wire this morning.
Not Brandon Cooks. I mean Jared Cook in New Orleans. So, I mean, if he's available, yeah, he's a must pick up if you haven't already. But you did take my first waiver wire. I did have DJ Dallas too. He found the end zone twice. Last week. I agree with everything you said. Especially if Carlos Hyde and Chris Carson can't go. I mean, and to be honest with you, if he continues to play well, he might be a guy that Seattle starts, giving the rock to consistently, even if those guys are healthy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's definitely worth it. If you have the open slot, definitely go get the guy. Or, if you have somebody that's underperforming on your fantasy team, definitely cut him to pick him up. I'll give you my second one. Now, this isn't a guy that's going to help you this week, but if he's available, pick up Dallas Goedert. I feel like he got hurt in week 1 or week 2. He's been on IR the whole season. He came back last week against the Cowboys. He only had one reception. I think he had like 2 or 3 targets total, but he only had the one reception. with Zach Ertz hurt, you know, the Eagles have been hurting all year with injuries. Dallas Goedert was a guy I said coming into the season where you could have Ertz or Goddard on your team and you'd be doing pretty well with either one of them because the Eagles, they design plays for Dallas Goedert. He's not as short-handed as Zach Ertz, but he gets a lot of rack yards, run after the catch yards. Last year, he had more touchdowns than Ertz did, I believe. I think he had one more than Ertz did. I think they both had like 4 and 5 or something like that. So, I mean, if he's available, I would run out, grab Dallas Goedert, stash him for next week because he's going to be big in the Eagles offense, you know, once he, you know, gets his you know, feet back under him. All right.
Yeah, I was gonna say in my other league, I had Dallas Goedert from the beginning of the year. I drafted him and Ertz, and I had Goddard on IR. I just kept him on my IR spot all year. So I mean that helps out for me. But I do also have Darren Waller. So I mean, but if anything should happen to Darren Waller, I have Goddard there, who I have a lot of faith in him, especially with all the injuries to that Eagles offense.
All right, cool. So now we're moving on the final segment here. Now that we've gotten all the, you know, the guys who you should play or pick up. Final segment, like I said, I'm going to explain it real quick. The 40-40 Club. Now, 40-40 Club, that takes me back to my high school football days. Me, some other guys, more specifically Dejor Duckett. We had the 40-40 Club. What that was is we stood on the 40-yard line, and we knew we were never getting in the game unless we were up by 40 points. So 40-40 Club, these are guys that no matter what, you should not start this week. Do not put them in the game no matter what. Go ahead. I'll go first since, you know, I just.
You go.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and go first. And I have one guy. I know you said you had a couple guys prepared. Again, I didn't specify for you, so I'll let you, I'll let you give me however many you have. But my guy here is he's actually on my fantasy team. I'm going with I'm going to say don't start Gus Edwards this week if you have. He had a big game this past week against the Steelers. Well, at least in my league. I don't know if your scoring is the same. 16.7 points. He had 87 yards and a touchdown. The Steelers aren't really known for their run defense. They're more, better. They're better against defending the pass. The Colts have a very good run defense. What's his name? Leonard, the linebacker. He's really great at stuff in the run. That front seven that they have in Indy, they can get after it. I think even though Mark Ingram may not play, because he has the foot injury or ankle injury, whatever he has.
Yeah, he's got some weird thing going on with him.
I don't think that Gus Edwards is going to kill the run game here. I think DK, or what is his name? J.K. Dobbins.
J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah, J.K. Dobbins. I think he's going to be the feature back this week. I think he has more wiggle than Gus Edwards does. I would stay away from Gus against the Colts.
I like it. I like it. Honestly, like Gus Edwards he's available in my league, but I knew coming into the season that J.K. Dobbins was eventually going to get a significantly bigger workload than most of the other running backs outside Mark Ingram, and now Mark Ingram being hurt, it just kind of thrusts J.K. Dobbins into the starting running back role. And to be honest, I like J.K. Dobbins a lot more than anybody else in that Ravens backfield. So definitely don't take Gus Edwards. But now I'll give you my 40-40 club member, or should I say members, because this is going to be a pick by committee here. Any Jets receivers, any receiver on the Jets, do not ever start. They are a terrible offense. They are last in the league in just about every single offensive statistical category. It is so bad. You could find at least 10 other guys out on the waiver wire than a Jets receiver right now. Just don't do it. I mean, like, if you're really, really, really desperate, you'd almost be better off with not starting anybody. This is just how bad that this receiving core is, and
I
just how much they just cannot move the ball on literally anybody.
I couldn't even tell you who one Jets receiver is, to be honest with you. And
I only know a few just because I live in New York, so I listen to New York sports radio all day, and all they do is just rip on the Jets and talk about how bad their receivers are all day long. So I know a few, but they're terrible. Don't even do it.
if you haven't already cut one those guys, then I don't even know what you're even still doing in your league right now. So yeah, I can't say I disagree. Like I said, I don't even know how those guys are still on your team, but yeah, they're definitely welcome members to the 40-40 club. All right.
They just have no spot.
All right, so that's our last topic for the week here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna send this show over to Sophie. She's gonna edit it. Shout out to Sophie. What did I say? So she's my favorite person on the site. She surpassed Alex because the video editing is like way above my realm of comprehension. So shouts out to Sophie for handling all that because I know it's hard. And that's, like I said, it's the last topic, so it's going to wrap us up. I want to thank everybody for giving us a listen or watch or whatever. Don't forget to, like the video, subscribe to the channel. The more you do that kind of stuff, the more videos we put out, the easier it is for us. I might be able to quit my day job someday. That would be nice. Other than that, go follow us on Twitter. Myself, at Lilfooted, LILFWOTED. Anthony, do you have a Twitter handle? I don't even know. There's so many people on the site.
Yeah. You can follow me at ANT_font1.
All right. Nice and easy. Check out the site's Twitter, Vendetta_media. Like I said, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.